Hello and welcome to today's session for MBL. I'm Sarah Thompson-Copsey and today we're going to be looking at adverse possession and boundaries. The two topics are of course interlinked, are almost inextricably interlinked I would say, because particularly in today's world post the 2002 Act, which we'll be looking at in just a moment, the likelihood is that any claim for adverse possession will be based on the fact that there has been a mistake as to boundaries. But even when you're looking at the old style of adverse possession, it often, although not always, comes about because there is a dispute as to boundaries or an uncertainty as to where the boundary between two pieces of land actually is. And the problem with that is that because there is this interlinking, it can mean that land that you think you own, you no longer actually own, or that somebody else has a right over. And this can apply whether you're talking about houses next door to each other or whether you're talking about two commercial properties next door to each other. Adverse possession and boundary disputes arise in both residential and commercial properties. So we're going to be looking today at why boundaries are so crucial. I've kind of outlined that already, but we're going to be looking in a bit more detail about why they're crucial. And in particular, we're going to be looking at problems with regard to the general boundary rule and how you set about establishing the boundary. We're going to deal with that quite quickly, but it's really a reminder of how difficult it is in English law to establish exactly where the boundary line between two adjacent commercial or commercial residential properties actually is, and why there is this risk, therefore, that A's land can be used by B, and B will then have rights over that land, and that may include having title to that land. So we're going to be looking at the crucialness of boundaries and the difficulty of establishing the actual boundary line, and then we're going to be looking at adverse possession.